Oh, we're live, apparently.
Woodward Sports Network.
Let's go! Woodward Sports, let's go! Woodward Sports, let's go!
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Woodward Sports, let's go! Woodward Sports, let's go!
Woodward Sports Network, let's go!
And good morning to you. It is Tuesday right here on Woodward Avenue. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. To my right this morning.
What's the word? It's Corey.
And to my left this morning.
It is Joey. Hello.
You were rocking that Dan Campbell kneecap shirt today, I see.
Yep. I had to rep it today.
If anybody wants one of those, go to woodwardsports.com, click on shop, and you can hook yourself up with one. I like the white ones. The black ones look crispy too, though.
The white ones do look better. I messed up because, I always talk about my sweating issues in my armpits, so I always stay in white T-shirts, so I can't have a white T-shirt.
Yeah. Well, I think you're covering up your pit stains. So not a ton of sports happened yesterday. Some games that we're going to touch on, but we got a nice show planned today. Anthony Lynn talking about TJ Hawkinson. We got an interesting question. What rival Detroit sports athlete would you have wanted to see in a Detroit uniform? I think that's going to be a fun conversation coming up today. But first, let's start it off with Joey's News. All right.
Oh, this whole story has got me talking about Seattle Mariners president and CEO Kevin Mather resigning after some derogatory comments I'm hearing. He took insensitive shots at a former all-star from Japan and a top prospect from the Dominican Republic for their English skills. And this whole story, they're not really releasing much on it, and he kind of just went out.
Yeah, I looked all over. I was obsessively looking for that video yesterday of what he said, and to find out exactly what he said, and it had to do with somebody that is trying to speak a foreign language and not speaking it well. To me, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, anytime anybody makes fun of a foreigner for trying to speak English, like, dude, if I go to Mexico, I'm going to sound like an idiot trying to speak Mexican, or Spanish. If I go to Japan, I'm going to sound like an idiot trying to speak Japanese. Like, I give credit to anybody who even tries.
So here's my question. When you go to Mexico, because I've been to Mexico.
Yep.
Do they make fun of us when we don't know how to speak?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Hell, I'm black, and I went to Jamaica. They made fun of my accent.
What kind of accent is that, man?
I was over there, I'm in the club, and I'm dancing. This girl's like, "You're not from here, are you?" And I said, "How'd you know?" "Your accent." I'm like, "What the?" I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm not home."
She thought you were a purebred Jamaican, and you're like, "I'm American, baby."
Yep.
So we go to the NBA, and the Jazz beat the Hornets. They gave them an ass whipping, 132 to 110. And in this first video, you see rookie LaMelo Ball hitting Conley with the too small celebration. And I'm like, you can't do that when you're getting your ass beat the way that they lost yesterday in this game.
Right.
You know what? I'm still mad about I like Killian Hayes, and I can't stand LeVar Ball, but I still would have loved to trade up and get LaMelo.
Oh, okay.
I think he's really. He's gonna be pretty damn big good.
Yeah, you know what? LaMelo, okay, we couldn't get him. You know who I'm still bitter about?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Adam and I were talking about it this morning. Like,
Rookie of the year.
It's going to be one of those guys that just bites me in the ass for the rest of my life as long as he's in Sacramento, up for Rookie of the Year with Lonzo Ball. Like, oh, we could have had Halliburton. Not that I don't want Killian Hayes because I don't know what he's going to be yet, but I wanted Halliburton.
Yeah. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
And this seems to be a play that would happen to the Detroit Lions. The referee missing this blatantly obvious travel call from Donovan Mitchell. And this was a horrible missed call here. You see it so obviously.
Yep.
You can't do that. This was a horrible missed call on this play. But that play had no impact on the final score because, like I said, the Jazz whooped their ass anyways. NBA Top Shot. I've been waiting all night yesterday and morning to talk about this. Have you heard of it?
I just did like 2 days ago, yeah.
So
they're like virtual playing cards?
Yeah, so I was toying around with this a little bit yesterday. And let me preface this by saying LeBron's poster dunk from 2019 sold for a record $208,000. And I'm talking literally a virtual playing card. So, Corey, have you heard of this or not yet?
No.
So let me kind of briefly explain this to you because I'm still really new to this. I was doing some research yesterday night. So think of playing cards, and you know how they used to release the playing decks, right? And you go buy it, and you don't know what's in this pack. And some of them, like my friend, he had a pack yesterday because there was a release. He had one card that he paid $9 for this entire pack. One card is worth $7,500. And it's just not playing cards of like pictures.
Yeah.
It's actual moments of like key plays.
I'm wondering how that is going to work.
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out the value in it. Like I'm looking at the Top Shop. They got the website, NBATopShot.com. I'm looking at it. And I'm like, where's the value? I don't get it.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it like cryptocurrency. Like that's the way you're gonna look at it. It's more
NFT.
like
It's
crypto.
exactly
It's not, like you're trying to think of it in terms of playing cards, but that's like trying to think of crypto in terms of like cash money. Like it's in the abstract. It's not a real thing. You're never gonna be able to hold it. It's not tangible. And my thing is like, how easy is it to duplicate these things?
That's what I'm saying.
Because
I can make one of these on my computer.
Yeah, but are they like encoded with something? Like I'm new to everybody's new to it because it's a brand new thing. So I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it too. Like, how are kids going to be collecting things? Are you going to have something on your phone where you're just swiping through and showing people? I don't know, but it's a neat concept.
Yeah. So yesterday, my friend told me that they were dropping this new deck of cards, right? A player pack, and it was impossible to get on. And I kept refreshing because the site's crashing like crazy. It's in the beta phase. But I ended up getting through so I could deposit my money. So I deposit my money 10, 15 minutes before they drop this. It logs me out of my account.
They took your money and
logged
you out?
They took my money, logged me out, and I couldn't even get it.
It's a hell of a scam. We should start that.
But it is backed by the NBA, so that's why I feel a little bit secure on this.
Yeah, I just don't know how they're going to prevent hackers or people from, like, making them. Like it. The digital world like that is just so weird when it comes to buying a collectible digital item. Like, it's just weird to me.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about that. But, yeah, it's crazy. LeBron's dunk from 2019 selling for $208,000. It's a freaking YouTube video for $208,000.
That's crazy.
The NBA All-Star reserves. We missed out on Jerami Grant. He was not named a starter. But don't give up because the coaches are making the decision for the NBA All-Star reserves tonight on TNT.
And if Jerami Grant does not make the All-Star game, I'm flipping this whole damn desk and I'm burning down the NBA.
I mean, just that simple. I'm with you.
All right. I got Corey with me. Let's go.
We're hacking NBA Top Shot if that happens.
We're making our own Top Shot.
A couple games tonight that we got to look out for. The Pistons taking on the Magic at 7 p.m. Detroit Red Wings taking on the Nashville Predators at LCA. Not that it matters because we can't even really go see them besides a few family members. That game at 7:30 tonight. And then Michigan State taking on number 5 Illinois at Breslin Center, 7 p.m. tonight. So
let's go, State. Come on, man. Get a win, especially against the top 5 team. People will start talking about you again as making the tournament. If they win this game, they're back in the conversation. So let's go, State.
Yeah, they definitely need that. Another thing that you might need if you're listening, if you're maybe lacking on the closet and you got to get some clothes added to there, you got to check out bridgestreetexchange.com. It's a beautiful shop out in downtown Fenton. I'm stressing Fenton because I say Fenton really quickly when I grass through it. But you got to check out their clothes because they got Carhartt, a badass section of Carhartt clothes. Detroit Grooming Company, my favorite beard products to keep you looking clean. Thorough Good Boots, and a whole bunch of Michigan brands. So, yeah, use WSN, the code word, to get 15% off. BridgeStreetExchange.com.
That's awesome. So we wanted to get into the show and talk about a few things, but something popped off yesterday. Art has this clip of the bar fight. Did you guys see this? The OU kid.
Eyes almost popped out, I heard.
Yeah, no, he had to have surgery on his orbital. So what happens here is the big dude plays football for Oklahoma, and he's talking crap to this little dude, and you can see little guy's trying to turn the other cheek. He's not really saying anything, and his boy just kind of like slaps him for no reason, just kind of like pushes his face, and you can see that like I've seen this smile before when you know you're about to fuck someone up, and that kid had it. He's like, all right, I'm about to show these guys. Picks up the football guy, body slams him, starts beating him on the ground, goes for a rear naked choke. Then his other boy starts body slamming his other friend, starts pounding him in the face. And this is just a very valuable lesson to everybody. Like, now that MMA has become such a predominant sport and, like, people really love it and train, you don't know, like, a guy like Art, and this is why I'm using Art as the example because he's an MMA guy, but you don't know how well trained he is to do that. Even if you are a linebacker for Oklahoma, you could still get the smoke from an MMA kid all day long.
It's crazy that for one, this happened. Like, usually when people are drinking and having fun and celebrating, it's usually pretty nice, but did you just fall?
Was Adham on the ground behind him?
My thing is when you watch this video back, what is the most disgusting part about it is that they're most likely fighting in pits. Like, if you outline the
Oh, yeah.
literally the dirtiest bathroom floor I've ever seen in my entire life. Here's the clip.
Yeah, it looked
And
like
he put his face right in the floor, too.
Yeah, like right now he's getting choked out in urine. There's no other answer. It's not milk.
But to me, like, the bigger point of this is you can no longer judge a guy by his size anymore because of MMA. Like, these trained fighters, they know what they're doing. And, we talk about this all the time. I've been in several bar fights in my life, and I always could attribute wrestling, like, to my ability to, like, use leverage and stuff like that. And these guys are trained going up against now college football players that are damn near twice their size and breaking orbitals. That kid had to have surgery on his eye. So let that be a lesson to anybody. Let that be a lesson to anybody. Oh, hey. Fish, make sure you got Art's mic on when he's talking, okay, buddy? Thank you, Fish.
Hey, man.
My thing is about it is when you look at someone like a Ben Askren, for instance, and the kid that was whooped the other kid's ass looked just like Ben Askren's cousin. It's just you never know. I mean, I've grappled with people that are 135 pounds that choke me off in seconds, and it's like, oh, I would have never expected that. You look like someone who carries a calculator.
Oh, those are the people I've always had a problem with, was the smaller guys. Like, I would rather fight a big, slow guy where I'm the quicker one and I can get the shots in than a smaller guy who hits me 3 times while I'm like, Wee.
I mean, look at that, though. You see the way that he does it in the form? He took one jab and then went and body slammed him and brought him down. And that is something that it doesn't matter how big you are.
Right.
You cannot defeat that. And it goes kind of the question, would you rather be the little guy who's an MMA badass or the big jack dude? Which one are you trying to be?
Yeah,
Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, man, all I got to say is looking at this clip, remind me of what Mike Tyson said. Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
The thing is, I don't think these guys had a plan. Like, they were just talking trash, and I've experienced this before where you're talking trash to one guy and his dumbass friend tries to take a swing out of you from nowhere, and that's exactly what happened. But this MMA kid just smiled, hit him with the quick little right, and next thing you know, he took him to the ground. So I thought that was an amazing story that came out yesterday, and you always love to see the big dog get his ass beat, especially when they're the aggressor and they're the bully.
I love it. I love it. You know what? it's so many cliches that go well with this. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. All David and Goliath, all of them just come to mind. But I've seen football players at parties, especially at the frat parties. Now, this is the story I can tell you about. I've seen football parties. These little guys, punk out some football guys. They come in there talking off of their mouth, and then they get slapped up, and some of them get carried out.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be honest, just because you play football doesn't mean you know how to fight or defend yourself.
You can tackle somebody, but it doesn't mean you have hands.
Right, exactly. And, I've hosted clubs where some of the Lions have shown up and gotten a little ridiculous and stuff like that. And you've seen bouncers, throw their ass out. And it's like, damn, that guy's supposed to be our lineman? And he's got bouncers dragging his ass out of the club?
Detroit bouncers are a little bit different. We got to admit that.
They are. They're a special breed. You love them. Because then if they can't take you out, they're going to take you out.
Yeah.
It's
one way or another.
They're going to pull out the thumper and end this real quick. So Dwayne Casey, the Detroit Pistons head coach, to me, he's not on the hot seat, but according to Vegas, he may be. Let's take a 15-second break, and we're going to talk about Dwayne Casey coming up next on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody who has downloaded our new app so far. It's available in the Apple Store. You just search Woodward Sports Network. You can download it. Rumor is Android coming next week.
Man, we're on all the app worlds now. I felt bad for all the Android people.
All three of them.
So he said 3, I said 2, 5.
It hurts so bad.
Well,
I don't have one, but I feel for you Android people.
Yeah, Android people. We're referring to them as they're a different species.
They are. You're the asshole that makes my text turn green.
You know what? That's bad. I can't front. Anytime I see a green bubble, I just get
I don't even notice that stuff. You guys always
don't?
notice. No.
Oh,
you guys
I
always notice when I leave you on red and all that stuff too. I don't care what kind of cell phone you have. Even if you got the Obama phone, if you still got the Nokia phone you play Snake on, we're good to go.
That's different. That's different. You're a legend if you still got that.
Or the BlackBerry. So Vegas, they come out with odds every once in a while for different things, as we know. And right now, the top coach that could be fired in the NBA is Dwayne Casey.
The top coach?
Yep.
What?
I
It's
know.
the first time I'm disagreeing with Vegas.
Well, no, I've disagreed with Vegas a lot. But, yeah, he is the #1 coach on the hot seat right now, according to Vegas, which I don't agree with this at all either. I think maybe 3 weeks ago, I'd be like, all right, this makes a lot of sense. But since then, they've made some changes. They got rid of Derrick Rose. They're getting rid of Blake Griffin. Obviously, Killian Hayes, the #1 draft pick that they had this year, has been out. But we've seen a lot of growth out of this team over the past 3 weeks, and they're beating some good teams.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it. Unfortunately, Dwayne Casey has been dealt an interesting hand. He's been given older players, and his teams have unfortunately regressed over the past few seasons, and that was due to those older players. So the fact that they've decided to go ahead and do a rebuild or a retooling, whatever they want to call it these days, I think they should go ahead and give him the time. Right now, he has an 8-22 record.
Yep.
And they're one of the worst teams in the league. But as you both have said,
they're 8-21, Corey.
Oh, my bad.
You're already giving them the loss for tonight.
Oh well, hey, the site is wrong then. But anyway, they're growing.
Yeah.
Don't kick the guy out the back door just yet. Now, let's say by the end of the year, they're still having those same mistakes, or you don't see any promise of like, okay, he might be able to be the guy that can lead them next year. Go ahead and cut bait, but I would at least wait till next year, because to be able to have a Blake Griffin who was playing on one leg, and then Derrick Rose who's playing on one leg, then a Reggie Jackson back then, all these players are playing on one leg, and it's just too much. They change coaches too much. Let a guy be here with a young team and still a coacher, and grow. If Dwayne Casey doesn't have them in like a playoff team in like the next, I say, give him next season and the season after that. I say 3 more seasons. If he doesn't have it as a playoff team in the next 3 seasons, then kind of look at giving him the boot, or if somebody that you think is a hot commodity, like if, who knows, maybe Chauncey Billups does something special. You want to bring him back.
Now you're talking my language.
Because that's who I always think is gonna be the Casey's replacement, no matter what. I think Billups is gonna come back to the Pistons and end up taking his job. So.
Don't say that. Now Stixie be like, all right, get him out of here.
No, I love Casey. You know, he was a great coach for Toronto. Obviously, he couldn't get him over the hump, but he also didn't have Kawhi Leonard. So you can't really judge him on what Toronto did after he left. I mean, he was the coach of the year the year before he came here. So, like, this is kind of another Caldwell situation in my eyes. Like, you're not going to get rid of this guy unless you can improve on your coach. And there's not many improvements out there right now that I want to bring in that I feel are better than Dwayne Casey.
There isn't. I'm just trying to think of who is out there that would make that kind of impact, unless you're going to go ahead and bring home a Billups. That's really the only person I can think about.
Yeah, and that's more of a hometown good feel. Like, and honestly, I like the idea just because of my romance for Chauncey Billups and what he did for Detroit. And, you know, obviously I'm a fan of the Pistons back then. But I also don't love the idea of giving him his first crack here. We tried that with Michael Curry, former Piston, came back to coach. Didn't work out so well. But the thing I really love about Casey is even though this team is losing, they're playing hard every single game, and that's coaching.
And you're seeing improvements, too.
Yep.
Not only playing better game after game, but you're seeing these improvements, and you see him and Troy Weaver actually making these moves and actually really trying to make the best out of this team, and then most importantly believing in the rookies and the young players that we got.
Yeah, it's hard to motivate a bunch of men that are used to being winners in college and all throughout high school. Then they come to the NBA, and obviously they're sitting at 8-21. But they're still out there playing hard. And like I said, to me, that's on the coach. If you can keep men motivated and you can keep them focused on the long-term goal, not just the short-term, that's a major, major accomplishment.
I just think moving forward, here's what they need to do. Go ahead and just play this season out. See which kind of moves you can make near the trade deadline. I'm thinking hopefully they can get out of the Plumlee contract, and then maybe, you know, see what you can get for Wayne Ellington to a contender. He's an older guy. Go ahead and free up some more minutes. But I just want to go ahead and see them fully commit to the youth movement and stick with a coach who's going to be able to grow with them and teach them the game, because switching coaches right now would be, I think, it would hinder the growth of the team.
Yeah, for sure.
Forward.
For sure. I think these guys play hard for Dwayne Casey. And, you know, he's developed 2 rookies this year. You know, Sadiq Bey wasn't just rookie of the week last week. He was NBA player of the week last week. And for a rookie to win that honor is awesome. We're seeing what Isaiah Stewart's bringing to the table nightly. And now with Blake Griffin out of the way, kind of clearing up that log jam, we should see some more out of Sekou, some more minutes, because that's been one of the biggest knocks is, where the hell's Sekou been? That's been at least my question, at least the first half of the season. Where's Sekou? I was hyped up about this guy when he was in the quote-unquote Piston bubble. He was getting stronger, supposedly getting better. Like, he was supposed to be the guy. He hasn't quite been there yet, but he's starting to see more minutes. So I am not going to judge Casey on the first half of the season, and that's what I said before the season started. I am going to judge him on probably the last 20 games to see where this team is at going into next year.
If I don't see any growth, like as far as the players' response to situations, like if they keep blowing leads the same way, then I would start to be like, okay, I don't see any improvement. I don't see any hope or any promise. If I see them regressing or just like stagnant the rest of the way, then I'll be like, all right, I'm still willing to give him another year, but if you can convince us like, hey, this is the guy, or some other kind of commodity comes out of nowhere, I would entertain it, because like you said, we seen them blow too many damn leads to start this season.
Right.
We've seen the turnovers be a bad thing. We see them have lapses on defense, hopefully that starts to change as the season moves on.
Art, do you have that graphic with all the odds for Vegas that they have for who's going to get fired? And Casey is at the top of this list. And there's a couple other coaches that I think are on this hot seat that deserve it a little bit more than Casey. So we're going to see if you want to go to MyBookie and you can place bets on this right now. Make sure you're using promo code Woodward for that. But we got Dwayne Casey at plus 225, Scott Brooks plus 250, Luke Walton at plus 400.
Wow. Luke Walton should be the highest.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know why Luke Walton's still coaching in the league, period.
Yeah.
Period. Like, how many more shots do you got to get? Just because you're Bill Walton's son? I don't know why this guy is a perennial coach.
After that debacle that he had with coaching the Lakers, that alone should have been enough to not give him another job anywhere.
And the one I'm shocked on this list, Eric Spoelstra. Like, I mean, obviously the Heat haven't started where they should, but
I mean, they didn't have a lot of their good players to start the season. I mean, come on.
He got them to the finals last year with practically nothing. Why would they even consider firing Spoelstra?
As long as Pat Riley is alive, Eric Spoelstra is not getting fired. Like they might as well just go ahead and take that off the books.
Right. So yeah, Dwayne Casey on the Vegas hot seat. I don't feel that in Detroit, though. Do you guys feel that hot seat for Casey in Detroit? Anybody? I
feel like Corey said 3 years. I feel like guaranteed at least another season.
Yeah.
At least, because I mean, and especially in basketball too, it really could just be one big move that really changes up the entire dynamics of this team, because we're getting our young guys ready and they're making a lot of improvements. So I see a good future.
Oh, man, if we only had Tyrese Halliburton.
And then he's in Detroit, and then he would have sucked.
I don't think so, man. That guy's up for Rookie of the Year. I think he would have been a hell of a point guard in Casey's system. But in Troy Weaver, I trust. I know that he had his eyes on Killian Hayes going into the draft, and they got their man. So I think we'll see what we need to see out of him. I just wish he didn't get hurt and we could see it now. Like, I'm just like an impatient child.
Now.
I want it now, Daddy. I want it now.
I mean,
You just call Coach Casey Daddy?
Proverbial daddy, not like Coach Casey.
Okay.
That just threw me off.
It just threw Corey off.
But no, I get it. I mean, he was the number 7 pick. You definitely want to see him. You see Isaiah Stewart playing well. You see Sadiq Bey playing well. You want to know, like, hey, okay, we hit on our 2 ladder picks.
Right.
We want to see what the number 7 is going to do. And so hopefully he's able to heal from that torn hip labor, man. Come out and ball out for the remainder of the season.
Well, we'll find out tonight if the Pistons will be still playing hard, and we get to watch the young guys play tonight. They got the Magic tonight, right, Joey?
Yeah.
That should be a good game. I mean, I don't really consider the Magic a great opponent, so I think the Pistons can get the W tonight.
So is it going to be like in the middle of the game where they're going to just all of a sudden be like, hey, Jerami Grant, you made it. You're an all-star.
I hope so. I hope at halftime they award him with that. That would be amazing.
He should be a reserve. Only thing I think that might hold him back from being a reserve is the Pistons' record. That's the only thing I can see them being like, all right, we're just going to go ahead and pick this guy. But it shouldn't be that way. It should be Jerami Grant needs to be in there. The numbers prove it. And without him, shoot, the Pistons might only have 1 win of that.
All right. In high school or when you guys played sports, were you tied to a specific number?
Oh, yeah.
Like what number were you, Joey?
Number 9.
You were 9 on everything?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you pick 9?
It was just, I just always loved the number.
Yeah.
My brother had number 3, and I wanted to get number 3, so someone took that. Then I switched to number 9, and I was just stuck with it.
Corey?
So is that why you love Stafford so much?
Yeah.
That could be it, too.
This is my number 9.
Mine was 59.
59. All right. That was my first football number.
Wow. Of course I didn't know that. But yeah.
How did you not know that, Corey? No.
I do not know. I'm sorry. But yeah, 59, I had no real ties to it. It's just like, hey, everybody's picking somebody's number who's some legend. Let me just go ahead and pick this number. And yeah, maybe if I picked a legend number, I would have got more clocks. So, you know.
Vinny's saying 14 because of Brendan Shanahan. Mitch is saying number 42. The number that, like, I had a ton of numbers because I played a ton of different sports, and I really didn't care what jersey I had. But when I could pick, I always picked 99. Like, that was the number in baseball and in football. I was always 99.
Warren Sapp.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't too many good 99s back then. The reason I did it is because it was the highest number, and I was always the biggest kid on the team when I was young. So you could always get the bigger jerseys and the higher numbers. And I graduated in 1999, so I just wanted to, hey, it's 99.
Why not? It's easy.
Right, it's 99. So Carson Wentz obviously got traded to Indy, where there's a young man named Michael Pittman. He was a rookie this year. Decent rookie year, 503 yards, 1 touchdown, nothing to write home about. He missed a bunch of games. He really only played in 8 games, but decent statistics. He was supposed to be a good rookie coming out. Where did he go? I believe he went to Notre Dame. Isn't that where he's out of?
I think so.
So either way, he has number 11. Carson Wentz is leaving the Eagles, and he's worn number 11 his whole time. So going to the new team, you would kind of expect the second-year player to nod to the vet who is getting paid $140 million and come to an agreement on the number. But Pittman is not willing to give up his number 11 for Carson Wentz.
I mean, I wouldn't. It's Carson Wentz.
He's his second year, though, so that's tough. That's tough because with especially in sports, the respect level always comes in there. So does he look at Wentz as, I got to respect the guy? I would hope so.
All right, so hold on. We just did a quick check. Pittman went to USC.
USC, my bad.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, let's say if it was Tom Brady coming in. All right, Tom Brady, hey, take your number. Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, heck, even Stafford to a degree. Go ahead. Carson Wentz? No. You go pick another damn number. Probably be good for you. I mean, the stench that you had coming into the league, you don't deserve to come in here and call out anybody's number.
Well, that's the thing. Like when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, Chris Godwin gave up number 12 and turned into number 14. But that's the GOAT.
That's a little but it's a little bit different. But then at the same time, it's the same position.
Right.
I mean, he's a wide receiver, so you better respect your quarterback, or else you might not be seeing the ball this year.
That's another thing. Like, this is the guy that's supposed to be throwing you the ball all season, and you're already going to come in and be like, give him the middle finger, like, no, 11's mine. But I did love Pittman's statement on this. He said, look, I'm number 11. And that's what he's been his whole life. So that's why I asked what you guys started out as, because if you went through high school, you went through college, then you got on your pro team, and nobody cared that you were number 11, then comes in this quarterback who isn't necessarily great wanting his number. Pittman has every right to be like, no, man, I'm number 11. It's just, you better hope that Carson Wentz doesn't take offense to that and see number 11 wide open and be like, check down to Jonathan Taylor.
If he had a reason, though, if he said, oh, this was my dad or this was something, then I get it. But it's just, it sucks because he's in a tough position because, yeah, like Corey said, I mean, Wentz is not somebody that I respect enough to give up my number. Tom Brady comes over, I'm rocking number 12. All day, that's you, TB12. But in this situation, it's just so different, but it sucks because that's his quarterback.
Hey, you know what, Wentz, you know what, for real, you need to revive your career. So if I'm open, you need to give me the damn ball, whether I got your number or not. You don't have any leg to stand on to come in here and try to be the Mr. Big Shot. I mean, they gave you up for pretty much not much.
According to our TikTok, a half a bottle of Essentia. If you haven't seen our TikTok on that, make sure you check it out at Woodward Sports on TikTok. Our intern Mike did a great TikTok.
Hilarious.
Yeah. But to your point, Corey, it is kind of a rebirth of Carson Wentz. So if I'm experiencing that as a quarterback and as a man, I'm going to want a whole new number anyways.
Yeah, just get a whole new number, get a whole new identity. That way nobody even hopefully you can do enough damage as the Colts QB to where your time with the Eagles is just something that was like a blip on the radar. Like, nobody thinks about Drew Brees' time, his short time with the Chargers. All you think about Drew Brees is his career with the Saints.
Yeah, he is a saint.
Yeah, so hopefully Carson Wentz will be able to have the same type of fortune with the Colts, but just let that number go. I just look the other way and burn it.
The thing I love, Pat McAfee, who does a great podcast that we all love here, he was number 1 when he punted for the Colts, and he's been champion for Carson just to tear one of those ones off and bring back the number 1 in the Colts jersey. That would be hilarious.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you're not getting number 11 apparently from Pittman, which I got to respect Pittman for standing his ground. But like we said, if it was a Breeze, if it was a Rodgers, if it was Tom Brady, Pittman should be on his hands and knees saying, thank you for coming here. Here's number 11. Whatever else you need, just holler at your boy.
Oh, no, I'd be honored because I would be like, okay, this guy is coming in. I believe in him. He can probably change the whole landscape of the franchise. He's a legend, former MVP, Super Bowl champ, all of that stuff. You will be honored to go ahead and give somebody that number. Carson Wentz, man. Meet me in cafeteria.
I love this comment by Brian Blankenship. Wentz has a Super Bowl ring. Pittman has ... Listen, Wentz has a Super Bowl ring because of Nick Foles, not because of Carson Wentz.
Yeah, come on. Let's be real. Wentz has a Super Bowl ring by default. He was there.
Darko has a championship ring. That doesn't mean he played at all. And that's how Wentz got his ring.
And the thing is, Wentz doesn't just have a Super Bowl ring. He's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yes.
I mean, Foles.
Foles, yeah.
Wentz, he was there, just there for the ride,
he did as much as I did during the Super Bowl. Like, I was just taking notes on the sidelines like I was doing.
Staying hydrated off Gatorade.
So that's the new dog in town in Indy. We're gonna find out if they're gonna switch numbers. Pittman says no. So guess what? Carson Wentz has to play in a new number, which is so funny because we talked to Darren McCarty about like just habits of athletes and superstitions of athletes. So you hope that's not something that's going to plague on his brain for no reason. Because the number you wear really doesn't matter. But to these guys, it means something.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to this level, I'm sure the number means a big deal to you. I'm just pissed if he does have to change his number because now I got to get a new jersey. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, you got to get a new Carson Wentz jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, what about that little guy in Philadelphia, like that was crying about how he couldn't even wear his jersey anymore that we played the other day? Don't have to worry about it, little guy. We'll send you a number 1 Colts jersey. So maybe
he's not even at that caliber though to be a number 1 jersey wearer. I feel like you got to be a certain someone to wear number 1 on the football field.
Yeah, that's a glorified number at University of Michigan. We know that. Like, that's a special number if you wear number 1 there. And at my old high school, if you wear number 1, that means something. Yeah. That is a big number at St. Mary's, and you got to be the guy to wear number 1. That's why I was 99, as far away from number 1 as I could get.
As far away from being the guy.
I am not the guy. I'm as far away from the guy as you could possibly find.
The worst ever though was rocking like the triple numbers. Did you ever have those jerseys?
No.
Like some practice jerseys as a kid, it would have like 100. It would have like 116, and I'm like, what?
It's like the super bench.
It's the worst number possible.
I've seen a 00, but I've never seen a triple number. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
They're like, Joey, sorry, man, we can't even put you in the numbers.
No, I was actually sweet. As a kid growing up, the high schools when I started sucking because everyone else was so good.
Yeah.
But basketball, oh man, when I was a kid, I was the best.
Wearing that number 111 across my chest.
No, I was 3 when I was a kid, but practice jersey was like 117.
So, yeah, we'll find out about the jersey drama going on in Indy as that plays out. I always like to see this because sometimes you see the guy come in and pay the guy for the jersey. They'll buy the jersey off of him, or you saw, like I said, Tom Brady just gets 12 grandfathered to him no matter where he goes. Like, I even think if Tom Brady went to New Jersey where 12 is retired, or the Jets where 12 is retired, they'd take it off the rafters and give it to him.
Now, I will say this. I think if Wentz comes in there with some money, Pittman will come up out that number.
Yeah, I'd take money for a number.
Yeah.
But like I said, his quote is, I am number 11. So if you're identifying as it that much, I don't know how much money it's going to take to get you off that number.
He even said, I don't think there's any deal that's going to be done. So I'm sure that implies that money isn't going to be a factor of this.
Already drama before they even took a snap in training camp. You got to love that about the Indianapolis Colts. You want no drama, no hassle? Make sure you go to growgreenmi.com today. They have all your grow needs for pretty much anything that you need to do, whether it's a small grow in your house, in your basement, or a big grow in a warehouse. They got everything you need. All the great lights, all the great LEDs. They got all the great nutrients at really, really, really great prices too. Plus, they'll ship anywhere in Michigan for $50 flat rate. Even if you order like a $5,000 order, $50, it's at your door. And the cool part is, if you're getting like $5,000 worth of stuff from another company, they will match or beat that price. So make sure you go to Grow Green MI today. They're in Whitmore Lake. You can stop by, say hi to them, and make sure you mention Woodward Sports. They're going to hook you up with a free t-shirt and some other free swag because PJ is the absolute man at Grow Green. So the number's right above me right now. GrowGreenMI.com. Get there today. So, Corey, you are kind of like our research reporter around here. Like, the articles you write are somewhat opinion-based, but you really dive deep and you get a ton of information before you put stuff out, correct?
Correct.
Anthony Lynn has been somebody you've been researching the past like week or so.
Yeah.
And I saw an interesting quote from Anthony Lynn about TJ Hockenson, about how he expects Hockenson to take even another step forward coming up this year. In all your research and stuff like that, I got some stats here on what he's done with tight ends, but how do you feel that Anthony Lynn is going to fare with a TJ Hockenson?
You know what? I think it really depends on which Jared Goff comes in. I'm thinking like if you would have had like with Stafford would have still been here, I think those numbers would have probably went even higher. I believe TJ Hockenson was like the third best tight end this past season. So I think he's just scratching the surface, and Anthony Lynn has done well with his running backs and his tight ends over his stint with the Bills and his time with the
Chargers.
With the Chargers.
Yep.
So I think depending on which Jared Goff comes in, if Jared Goff comes in with a chip on his shoulder, him and Anthony Lynn will be able to. I think they'll form a formidable relationship, and Hockenson will be able to take that next level into being possibly, I'll say, the second best tight end in the league. I don't want to.
You're gonna put him above Kelsey and Kittle,
I'll put him above
or Kittle.
I'll say he could probably take that leap over Kittle. Kelsey. That's asking a lot.
That's a whole other animal right
that's
there.
a whole other animal right there.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've been seeing mainly from my research with Lynn is that his work with running backs, like his work with running backs, is tremendous, especially LaShawn McCoy. When McCoy had his down season after he left the Eagles.
Yep.
He had a little rough. I want to say it was a rough 2015 season. Then 2016, he had his bounce back year. And that was with Lynn as the offensive coordinator. He had like 1,267 and 13 touchdowns. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Lynn is going to do there. But with Hockenson, he already said during the press conference, in his introductory press conference, that there's still another echelon that he can get to, and I'm curious to see where he can take it.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about too with that quote is like, dude is already a top 4 tight end, arguably across the board. I mean, he was 4th in the NFL in receptions, and fantasy-wise, I think he was the top 3 guy. Darren Waller may have been in there somewhere. But to take a next step, like the next step is Kittle. The next step is Hockenson. So that's the stuff that gets me fired up. When a guy like Anthony Lynn, who when he was coaching the Bills, Charles Clay led the team with 57 catches, and that's when Lynn was calling the plays. And so obviously he uses his tight end there. And then you move over to the Chargers. Hunter Henry had back-to-back 50-catch seasons. So you know this guy loves to use the tight end. Hockenson played more snaps than anybody else returning to the Lions this year, which is another fascinating fact that this guy.
Didn't he do that with turf toe too this season?
Yeah, he was banged up, but he played.
So it's like you add that. And have you ever had turf toe?
No.
Turf toe might be one of the worst things in the world.
Well, you saw what it did to Patrick Mahomes, man. I mean, if it can slow down Patrick Mahomes, it could slow down anybody. But you just love to see that the way he's used his tight ends previously at other coaching stops, and he's got an eye already. Then you throw in Dan Campbell, who was a tight ends coach and the assistant head coach for the Saints. This is going to be a good combination for TJ Hockenson.
He could end up being a feature player, along with you know what could? Oh, you know, I don't want to do this. Okay, look, I want to preface my comment by saying I am not comparing them to the Chiefs. I am not. I'm just saying that maybe they can form some type of, you know how you got a 3-headed monster with Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey. Maybe they can form a 3-headed monster with Goff, with 4-headed monster, Goff, Swift, Hockenson, and Galladay. I'm just hoping. Not trying to,
No, I know.
Jump the gun. Not trying to jump the gun.
It's just tough to get that sentence out when you're like, yeah, maybe Goff can be like Mahomes, and maybe there's a whole lot of maybes in that sentence.
I just want to do it like this. I'm just hopeful that Goff is just smart with the ball, as I've always seen him be smart with the ball. He doesn't have that big arm like Stafford is, so I don't expect him coming in throwing Hail Marys and stuff like that, but he's really great with the play action, and I'm just expecting smart football. And I think that with those weapons, the Lions offense has the potential to be something great, especially under Lynn and how he's done at all of his stops.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to how they're going to utilize Hockenson this year. And like you said, I don't think we're ever going to be close to what the Chiefs have.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have a Hockenson, DeAndre Swift, and a reliable quarterback in Goff right now as our base, because I'm not going to include Galladay just yet. They probably
until they franchise.
They probably will franchise him, but he ain't on the team right now.
Yeah.
Like Cephas is our only wide receiver on the roster right now, and I love Quintez Cephas, but he's more of a possession, slow, good route runner, body a guy type guy. He's not the speed guy that we need. But that being said, if we can get Swift going, play action pass, Goff is the #1 play action pass quarterback over the past 2 years.
Yep.
Hockenson is an up and coming tight end. I like that little package that we got going on right there.
It's so funny because we've been saying, like, we need more play action, and then we get the quarterback who has a stat out there that literally proves that he's one of the best at the play action. And no more of the running on the first play of the games. Horrible plays.
Yeah, no more Adrian Peterson to the right on the first play of the game. Please, please, please. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, and we'll find out very soon how they're going to utilize all the tools that we have for the Lions. If they don't sign Galladay, what do we do at wide receiver?
There's a few people out there. There's a few options out there. I know a lot of people talking about Allen Robinson. I do like Will Fuller, and I think he'll be also another good addition. I don't think AB is going anywhere. He's pretty much I think he's gonna be a buck. But there are gonna be guys out there. It's just that a lot of those guys that are gonna be free agents, they're gonna want money too. So it's whether you want to go ahead and pay somebody new the money, or you want to go ahead and franchise tag Kenny Galladay.
Or are they going to spend the #7 pick on a wide receiver? I've seen that in several mock drafts, everything from Jamar Chase to Devontae Smith, who Devontae Smith is just falling down mock drafts. I don't know.
You win the Heisman and you start dropping?
Yeah, what happened between the national championship game and today, I haven't seen him diminish, but apparently he's falling down the list.
You know what is what I said earlier? I think a lot of teams are really falling out of favor on him because of his size. He's a real small dude. I don't know why he's getting knocked for that, but
did he get smaller since he won the Heisman?
No, he did. It's just like the draft boards are always weird.
Yeah,
especially looking at everybody else's mock draft. It's like that's where they project him to come out about. It don't always happen that way. I don't get it.
Especially having one of the best performances in the national championship, like 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards. Okay, go ahead. Let's drop the guy because of that performance.
But honestly, the more we're talking about this, the more I would be comfortable with them taking a wide receiver at 7, even though I didn't want that early on, because we have the running back in place. We have the tight end in place. We have a quarterback that's yet to be seen if he's in place, but he has proven that he can get a team to the Super Bowl. So why wouldn't we get our franchise wide receiver right now and let him develop? Because, usually last year was kind of an aberration, but it usually takes wide receivers a year or two to acclimate to the league. So if we get him now in a year or two when the team's peaking, hopefully, we have the package. We have the Cowboys kind of. We got the tight end. We got the Emmitt Smith running back. We got the Michael Irvin, and we got the Troy Aikman.
Honestly, I think that if the Lions go wide receiver, then Goff is going to be here at least 2 years.
Yeah.
But do you think that you should take a wide receiver over an offensive lineman, though, to protect him?
I mean, that's the philosophical debate, honestly. Like, if there's a good lineman, if, Penny's available at 7, then we take him. Outside of that, nobody really has me excited to be an offensive lineman in the draft.
If Sewell falls down to 7, that's a steal.
Yeah.
You got to take him regardless.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I would honestly, depending on how the draft, goes, if there's an option where they could probably trade back a couple of spots, maybe get an extra pick somewhere in between there, and then draft a wide receiver, like depending on how it's falling, I would like that. But I mean, I'm not really opposed to anything they do in this draft. It's such a weird spot for the Lions because they really need somebody everywhere.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, that's what happens when you're damn near the last team in the league and your defense is awful. Because, honestly, we're not even talking about the defensive side of the ball, which is also a place that we need a lot of help. So, really, they could draft anybody at any position and be like, yeah, we probably need that.
Yeah, I still want them to trade back lower in the draft and probably try to get that pick out of Washington next year. I still hope that I think the Athletic reported that. I hope that still is something that's on the table, because if they can get that extra pick for next year and then draft, a defensive player like in the 19s, that might be the smarter move for the moving forward.
Yeah, I put out a Twitter poll yesterday, and it just said, what should the Lions do with the number 7 pick? They hold at the number 7, trade up, or trade down, and 60% of people want us to trade down.
I think if you trade down, it takes less pressure off of them to nail that pick, because at number 7, again, this is their second time. This is the second time in 2 years in the top 10. You're looking to hit that pick. It's still remaining, to be determined if Jeff Okudah will hit or not. I believe with Aaron Glenn coming in, it's a possibility that he can turn the corner. But right now, trade out. Get an extra pick next year. Keep getting that draft capital in. Build the roster.
All right. Well, coming up next, Adham has his bets of the day, and so far his record for the past 4 weeks is looking pretty damn good. So if you're into gambling, or if you're not into gambling and want to get into it, coming up next we have our gambling expert, Adham. He's going to be up here telling us about his best bets. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody who has downloaded our app on the Apple Store right now. All you got to do is search Woodward Sports Network if you haven't done it. And if you're listening on the app in your car, good morning. Thank you. Thank you so much. And everybody that's watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Every morning about 8:50, Adham, our gambling expert, comes on to discuss his bets of the day. Adham, how'd you do last night?
Last night was rough. 1-3 actually on our picks last night.
But
overall picture, we're 27-11 on our picks. So we're doing pretty good. Last night was a uncomfortable loss, but it's okay. We'll bounce back.
LeBron, baby, missing free throws, airballing, last second shot.
Russell Westbrook has yet to put an A game all season, and the one night I go out publicly and shit on the guy. He drops 32 points, but
you motivated him.
I did motivate him. He's a bitch too.
Yeah,
one of the most overrated superstars in the league.
We can debate that another time.
How? It's not a debate.
We'll talk about that later, Adham. I'll school you later.
School me. You guys are talking bullshit. Taking a goddamn receiver. Oh my God, you guys are. You know, we gave up like 1,000 yards a game, Corey, and you're sitting there telling me we should get a goddamn receiver.
No, I said that.
You both said that.
Yeah.
You both agreed on it.
No, I said at this point it wouldn't be that bad because of where we are as a team.
Fuck it, give up.
It's not giving up.
We don't need to play
It's filling
defense.
a hole. It's getting us the big three that has been the staple. Look at Tyreek Hill. Look at
what he did nothing in the Super Bowl. Receivers don't win you Super Bowls.
2 years ago they won the Super Bowl, man, with a tight end, with a strong tight end, with a strong wide receiver, and with a good quarterback.
Amazing quarterback.
Yeah, I just want to follow that. I just want to follow that game plan.
Tyreek Hill is not the reason the Chiefs win Super Bowls and get to Super Bowls.
Ooh, dude, you don't know then how he spaces the field and opens things up for everybody else.
It switches the game plan. You cannot deny that.
I'm not saying he's not an impact player, but there's no such thing as a franchise receiver. You don't draft a receiver and he's taking you to the Super Bowl.
No, but you need pieces to create spacing.
There's a difference between an impactful player, a piece, and a franchise player. Christian McCaffrey is not a franchise player. He's an impactful player. That's a luxury.
McCaffrey.
You would take McCaffrey, and you wouldn't win anything, just like the Panthers. Fucking hell. But anyways, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's get into your bets. Something you know about.
Me crazy. Oh yeah. Okay. I love you, man. All right. Anyways, so we got two teams in action tonight that I think we all care for: the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Pistons. So we're gonna start with the Detroit Red Wings. They're playing the Nashville Predators. They played them actually a few weeks ago. They're gonna do it again today and Thursday. They split the original series, which was interesting. Both games averaged 5.5 goals, and of course, what's the over/under? 5.5. And I'm gonna take the over on the game. I'm not gonna bet who's gonna win or lose. I could care less. But I am very confident that the Nashville Predators will do the majority of the scoring in tonight's game. And then the second game I got going on is, of course, our Detroit Pistons. Oh man,
let's go Pistons!
Bad loss to the Magic the other night, but good things coming out. The over/under in that game was 211.5. and it was well over. So of course Vegas adjusted and put the over/under at 207.5. I am taking the over. You're telling me that final score can't be 110 to 100? Oh, please. That's easy money. Free money, guys. This is fucking free money. Like, I don't know how else I can explain it. Take the over on the Pistons and the
Magic.
And the Magic tonight. The next game, is our last NBA game for today. I'm going to take the Hawks to win straight up. Anytime, guys. Remember, when the Cleveland Cavaliers play a game, you bet against them. It's fucking free money. Is there any other way I can explain other than free money? Take your mortgage. Okay. Maybe not that.
No, God,
But
what are you doing?
Listen, if you've got spare change, go throw it on the Hawks. They're going to beat the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers are shit. They're going to be shit probably for the next 30 years. So from now till I probably die, every time the Cavaliers play a basketball game, I'd say 80% of the time they're going to lose. So, free money.
Yeah, especially if you're just taking the straight-up bet on it. You're not taking the points
We're
or
not
anything.
taking points. We're not taking the spread. We're not taking anything.
Yeah,
we're
the
going to take
Cavaliers.
the Cavaliers to continue being what they have been outside of LeBron James, which is shit.
They're going to be a 50-loss team perennially.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yep.
So, 82 games in a season. You bet on all 82. You win 50 out of 82 times. You can't go broke. Winning every fucking time. Next game. College basketball.
Ooh.
I got West Virginia over TCU. They're 7.5-point favorites, but I'm just going to take them straight up to win. That's kind of a... We'll get to it later why I'm doing this pick, but we'll move into the last game of today. This is my underdog pick. I don't think they're underdogs, even though they're listed as underdogs. State tonight against Illinois. I think State needs to win this game. There's a lot going in their favor. Illinois coming off a few games where shaky offensively. I'm really, really confident in Michigan State tonight. And I'm going to take them at plus 230, straight up.
Woo! To beat the number 5 team in the country.
Yep.
All right, that's a bold-ass prediction there.
Ooh, yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
That's going to be our underdog pick of the day. And if you're feeling special, if you're feeling lucky, and you want to parlay all these together, $50 wins you $1,026.
Oh, my God.
Nice payoff.
That is a nice payoff.
If you do decide to hedge your bets and try to nail all 5 of these, pays off pretty good.
So run them down one more time, all 5 of them. What does it look like?
Yeah, we got the Detroit Red Wings over-under at 5.5 versus the Predators. We're going to take the over. We're going to take the over on the Pistons versus the Magic at 207.5. We're going to take the Hawks to win straight up because they're playing the worst franchise in NBA history. We got the West Virginia college basketball game. We're going to take them straight up. And, of course, we're going to go for the Michigan State upset. You say it's a huge upset. No, it's only plus 230. It's not that. It's not monumental. It can happen. I'm super. This game, I could bet Illinois and sleep comfortably at night, but betting Michigan State, it's again, you're betting the odds here. You're not putting all your money on Michigan State is going to win tonight. But if you want an underdog, that's a fair price. That's your goal for.
We are closing in on Izzo time. I mean, it is a week before Izzo's month.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I'm not interested in that.
You should be. You got him to pick the win tonight.
That's
you need
tonight.
Izzo to start ramping up, baby.
No.
I mean, he needs to.
Michigan State's only chance of getting in the tournament is going to be winning the Big Ten tournament.
Literally, that's the only chance.
I honestly think if they upset the number 5 team in the country, it at least boosts them and puts them back in the conversation. It puts them back in the bubble conversation.
It does help them that the Big Ten is stacked
Yeah.
this season, and there are a lot of good teams. You have Iowa, Ohio State, Michigan, Illinois. You have a lot of really, really good teams in the Big Ten right now. Wisconsin even. They're always a tough matchup. So they'll have a very, you know how they rate the strength of schedule at the end of the year when deciding all this? Michigan State will have one of the top tough schedules in the country, but they're going to need to win 80% of their games. And that's including the Big Ten tournament to even have a shot.
Yeah. Well, that's the good news about playing in a tough conference and also having the Big Ten tournament coming up. There's always a shot.
It's like the SEC in football. You know, those 1-loss, 2-loss SEC teams typically rank higher than the 1-loss or undefeated Big 12 MAC teams. Doesn't matter who the hell it is.
Right.
See, what's crazy, it's not too far off with that because you see Michigan State, they played Iowa twice this season. The first time, it was a really close game. So there might be a chance, but then the second one was an ass whooping. So
you're telling me there's a chance?
There always is a chance in college basketball. That's what I love.
Look. If you're a Spartans fan, it's probably going to kill you to want to bet on this game. But again, you're taking the line here. It's plus 230, super friendly. You bet $50, you're walking out with $260 roughly. I mean, it's a fair deal.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Adam, for coming on with your bets of the day. We'll update you on how Adam did tomorrow. Fish is giving you a round of applause over there in the sound booth.
Fish is like my biggest supporter.
He is, man. Fish is everybody's biggest supporter. And by the way, we found out something about Fish that we're going to talk about later on in the show. Everybody, you're going to want to stick around for what we now know about Mr. Fish over here. It's I can't wait to expose Fish.
He's shaking his head,
He's
smiling.
got
He's
a
like,
shitting
God
and
damn
grin,
it, what
right?
did I get myself into?
It's Tuesday. This was by far the best moment of the entire week.
Oh, yeah, by far.
This is the best moment in the company's history. Are you serious?
We love you, Fish. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got Joey's news, and the newest member of the Woodward Sports team is here. He does graphics for us. He also hosts his own podcast, and he came up with a really cool concept that I thought we could turn into a topic and talk about this morning. So we're going to bring him on stage, and we'll do that all next on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for waking up with us. I mean, we're inside Grove Green right now, and they have everything. I'm talking, you got your active air fans, you got your big lights over there, big pots, little pots, and Joey, what are you doing right now?
Get some sun.
That's not what those lights are for.
Feels nice.
Go to Grow Green MI today to get all your growing needs and a tan.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
It is time for the Woodward Sports Update. Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. And this first story has been one that I've been following closely, and there's like barely much information coming out that you could even see, so I need some video of this or something. I'm talking about the Seattle Mariners president and CEO Kevin Mather resigning after some derogatory comments. And the only thing that I do know on this story is that he took insensitive shots at former all-star from Japan and a top prospect from the Dominican Republic for their English skills. So he's making fun of the way my man talks. You can't do him dirty like that. NBA Top Shot, something that we talked about earlier today, and it's new on all of our radars, but it's kind of like the virtual playing cards, but it's video form, so it's pretty much really expensive YouTube videos that you own. This is a really weird concept, but LeBron James poster dunk from 2019 sold for $208,000. Definitely something you should look into, and it is in partnership with the NBA, so that kind of makes me feel a little bit better about this. We're talking about the NBA All-Star reserves. Hopefully Jerami Grant gets announced as an All-Star. He hasn't gotten love on this yet, but hopefully the coaches can pull it off, because if they don't, I'm going to be so disappointed. That is happening later on today on TNT. You can watch that, so we'll update you on hopefully a soon-to-be Jerami Grant All-Star. And a couple games I wanted to preview on. Tonight, the Detroit Pistons taking on the Magic at 7 p.m. The Detroit Red Wings taking on Nashville Predators at LCA here in Detroit, 7:30 tonight. And then the last one, which Adam is calling the upset on, Michigan State taking on number 5 Illinois at 7 o'clock at Breslin Center. Adam does have Michigan State with the upset on that game. So we'll keep you updated on that one. There's your Woodward Sports Update, and I just wanted to give a quick little shout out to the LOI Center, because they're just hooking up our Woodward Sports peeps. So if you're listening, watching right now, $1,500 off. How does that sound? Go take advantage of this with the LOI Center. That's where I got LASIK, so I'm telling you this firsthand because it really only took 5 minutes. Such an easy procedure. Stick did the same, and we both got 20/15 vision, so we got our own little superpower right now. So we want you to have this superpower. Call right now, 1-800-398-EYES for your free evaluation.
All right. Thank you, Joey. So we got somebody new on the stage, and we also have a new setup to where we can have 4 people on the stage, which is pretty awesome. Corey, you don't have to leave every time Adam comes up now.
I was just hanging back. I'm like, hey, man, get up there, like, oh.
And when we have Terry Foster in on Thursdays, Joey, you don't get kicked off the stage anymore.
I loved it because Corey would always hop off stage and he'd do his little stretch. Just loosen up because we're sitting in these damn chairs for 2 hours straight.
Right. So I want to introduce everybody to the guy to my right, your left. His name is Nick Leach. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network, Nick Leach.
Thanks for having me, boys. Glad to be here.
Do I always have to call you by your first and last name?
See, that actually started in high school.
Really?
Yeah, people started calling me full name. It used to just be my last name. Like, they used to just say Leach, but then they turned it into Nick Leach, and it's something that just kind of always stuck, no matter who it is.
Yeah, it's one of those names that flows together, like first and last name. You got to say it. Like, you're not just Nick, you're Nick Leach. So Nick Leach is here, and he does great graphic work. You also have your own podcast with all your boys, and you're called the commissioner on it, right?
Yep. So it's called the Going to Work podcast. Just four buddies that love Detroit sports. We all have, I guess, a little area of expertise. But we kind of hit on all topics and kind of just shooting the shit and boys being boys.
I love it. That's exactly what we do here at Woodward Sports. So yesterday you were showing me some of the graphics you were working on, and first of all, you do phenomenal graphic work. If anybody saw like the post we put up, it was probably a couple months ago of all the Detroit uniforms, but if they switched color schemes with each other, that was all Nick doing that. And now you brought up, I thought it was a great topic. That's why I wanted to bring you on the show so we could all talk about this. Is you were going over biggest rivals for Detroit sports and what it would look like if those players were in Detroit uniforms, right?
Yeah, so I thought it'd be a good topic to kind of bring up because especially after the Michael documentary came out last year, it's all about his hatred for the Detroit Pistons. So I said, you know what? Piss some people off. Why don't we throw him in a Pistons uniform?
Yeah, and that was the first one. Art, you have all of these. Can you throw up the Michael Jordan one in a Piston uniform?
This one was trippy.
So this is what I want to do. I want to go around the horn and ask everybody about somebody that was a player that you hated, but you do wish was either a Piston, Lion, Tiger, or Red Wing. And obviously this Jordan picture, it's just weird, man. It's just really weird to see that.
Well, it's one of his most iconic photos of all time. I mean, that's the Jumpman logo. So there's gonna be a lot of unhappy people, especially if you're a diehard Michael fan growing up, or vice versa. If you love the Bad Boys, you're probably not gonna like that photo too much.
If you're Michael Jordan, you're not gonna like that photo very much.
Let's see if it gets back around to him. You never know.
See, but screw that. If that were to actually happen and Jordan did have the opportunity to come to Detroit, everyone here would have loved it. They would have gone crazy for that.
Oh yeah,
it would have been like Golden State with Kevin Durant, right? That's all. I mean. Kind of same scenario.
Corey?
I'm just in shock looking at Jordan and that Pistons blue and red. It's one of those things that's kind of just like jars, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Jordan in a Pistons uniform? Damn. My dad would probably faint on the spot seeing that.
Yeah, that is one of the people that obviously is hated in Detroit. And what I love about Jordan is he hates us just as much.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about it.
So hopefully he takes offense to that picture that you made. In basketball, I also had LeBron. Like if LeBron was wearing a Pistons uniform, that would be... I'd hate it and love it at the same damn time.
You would love it way more than you hated that, though.
That one wouldn't surprise me. He's jumped to so many different teams that, who knows? He could be here at the end of his career last year.
That'd be great. Yeah, as long as we got an all-star cast to support him, I'm sure he'd come.
I told you, if the Pistons draft his son somehow, you're going to see LeBron in the Pistons jersey. So be ready for that.
When is Bronny available for draft?
I think in about 2 more years.
Ooh,
and that coincides when LeBron's Lakers contract ends too.
Is that when they're saying that you can jump from high school to the NBA is coming back?
Yeah, they're thinking they're going to bring it back in the next year.
That's going to be crazy.
Let's move on to hockey, because I thought this hockey one that you did was pretty interesting. Actually, I'm sorry. Before I move on, Corey, do you have any other basketball players that you hated that you would love to see in a Piston uniform?
Don't even want to say his damn name. And we could have drafted him actually too. Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
I mean,
you hate Dwayne Wade?
2006.
Yeah, but do you actually
hate?
Wow.
I dislike Dwayne Wade more than I dislike LeBron. All of my friends will tell you that. LeBron James, okay, he kicked the Pistons' butt, but you knew that he was going to eventually be that guy in the league. That 2006 series against the Heat really
dude, he couldn't miss.
That just really,
when he was taking all the contact, going to the lane, just throwing it up over the, like that was a very Jordan-esque series for Wade.
That ever since then, anytime I see Dwayne Wade, I'm just like, I just hope somebody just throws him in the stands or something.
And to me, he was the one. Like, everybody complains that we didn't draft Carmelo and we didn't get Bosch, but to me, Wade was the one to keep the Detroit dynasty going. Because you got Chauncey, you got Rip, and then you follow that up with Wade. Those three interchangeable pieces would have been unstoppable for at least another 8 years.
Easy. You probably would have got a couple more ships out of that too.
Right? Oh God, yeah. No, we definitely we would have got more than we got out of Darko. We all know that shit. Still irks me to this day. Okay, so let's move on. Hockey. The guy you put in a Red Wings uniform for hockey, he's the only one that just looks ugly no matter what uniform you put him. I cannot stand this guy, but I would have loved if he was a Red Wing.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to deny that Sidney Crosby is one of the top 5 greatest players to ever be in the NHL. I mean, Penguins are having a little bit tougher year than normal, so who knows? They could be blowing that whole organization up here soon enough. A lot of front office changes, but that one was probably the hardest one to do, just because back in 2009 when we lost to the Penguins in the finals, I've always been a diehard Red Wings fan, so that one's always stung with me, and it's something I didn't want to do, but it definitely begs for a good conversation.
Dude, I'm looking at this picture right now, and it's
awful.
It just doesn't look right. Like, he doesn't even look like a Red Wing for some reason. Like, Jordan in a Piston uniform, you're like, oh, okay, I could see him in the Bad Boys era, playing for the Bad Boys. But you put Crosby in a Red Wings uniform, it's just like, he just doesn't look right wearing red.
Like, yellow is his color. It really
yellow
is.
and black, right?
Yeah, it's almost like Ben Roethlisberger in the Pittsburgh black and gold.
Perfect example.
He wouldn't look right in any other uniform, but you never know.
Yeah, fun fact about Pittsburgh, they're the only sports town that has all of their teams wearing the exact same colors.
Which is awesome.
I actually dig that, too.
Yeah, I dig it, too.
Yeah, I love it.
And fun fact about the Tigers, they're the only professional sports team with an alternate color in their away uniforms.
I actually didn't. Oh, the orange.
The
right?
orange.
Yeah.
Yep. We do not have that in our home uniforms. We only have it in our way. So those are fun facts. Sorry to steal your thunder, Fish. We'll get to Fish's facts coming up at 9:50. The hockey player that I thought of, because I go back a little bit longer than y'all, is Patrick Waugh. I couldn't imagine Patrick Waugh wearing a Red Wings jersey.
That's what I was thinking.
Because I hated that dude. Like, hated. And to say that, like, we had good goalies at that time. You know, Osgood and Hasek were great goalies. But Patrick Waugh was always just that dude.
Well, especially after, March 26th, like, Claude Lemieux became the most hated probably player and a rival of Red Wings franchise history. So, especially with our boy D-Mac, you'd never want to see that guy in a winged wheel.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we had the chance to get Patrick Waugh,
oh yeah,
a little bit of a different story. You'd have loved that jersey.
He could be the greatest goalie of all time. That's debatable, but it would have been very awkward to see him in a Red Wings winged wheel.
Now I will say there is one person that me and my cousin did want as youngins, and my cousin probably still loves the guy today, Eric Lindros. I think if he would have been in, he's not really a rival, but if he would have been in a Red Wings uniform, I think that would have been something special.
I love this. Dan Notini, he said Brett Hall. He hated Brett Hall, and then when he came here, so it actually happened to him. And Chelios is another guy. Everybody hated Chelios when he was a Black Hawk.
Yep.
But when he came here, it was like, we got Chris Chelios. So I think that would be the reaction to any of these guys coming over, since they were such great athletes. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I hate these guys. So for football, who did you pick?
Took that guy that wears that yellow and white or yellow and green that I don't even like to talk about him, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
By far my most hated player in the NFL. I just think he gets a lot of calls and seems to always pull a rabbit out of his ass with the refs at the end of Lions games.
I love how you switched it from hat to ass.
Yeah.
Like
He's truthfully like the LeBron James of the NFL.
Yeah.
They get every single call and anything goes their way.
Except he stayed at home and won a championship by himself and didn't chase one around the league.
Yeah.
But aside
LeBron's waiting that big goat.
But aside from that, Art, keep that picture up, because that is just a haunting picture. And to me, that's another guy. Like, when I saw that graphic that you made, I'm like, man, I could see him in a Detroit Lions uniform, but those white uniforms are such ass. I could see him sucking in a Lions uniform too.
I was just saying, what do we think here? Would he be good here in Detroit? Do you think he would have been better than Stafford? Do you think he would have got us to a Super Bowl?
I think strictly on just being a creative and more mobile quarterback, he would have been able to make more plays for us, just on that alone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about him with Calvin Johnson too.
Oh
my God.
Oh.
They talk. It's kind of crazy. There are a couple of clips of them talking about that. What would have been if Calvin and Rodgers would have been together, that might have been probably the scariest thing for any secondary in the NFL.
That just looks so weird with Aaron Rodgers. And ironically, I picked 2 other football players. One of them, Brett Favre, because that was another guy who just killed the Lions for his entire career.
It's all Packers.
It is all Packers. Well, then that's what I thought. I was like, man, I'm not going to pick Favre and Rodgers. And I went with Brian Urlacher.
Yep, that's a good one.
Urlacher would have been
I
great.
Loved him.
Yeah, because I hated him when he played for Chicago, man. He would light it up at middle linebacker. That one Javid Best run, though, when he missed his gap and Javid Best ran for 88 yards. I love that play from Urlacher. Thank you very much.
You know who's another good one is a guy that I feel like flies under the radar is someone that should be hated here in Detroit that doesn't get talked about anymore is Jared Allen, defensive end for Minnesota Vikings. Remember when he thrashed Detroit, talked about 2 cities I don't like to go out of, New Orleans and Detroit. You got to wear a flat jacket. You got to duck and cover. He's like, that place is gloomy. It sucks. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and that and his stupid little ass lasso stuff when you get a sack, like tie him up. Like, come on, you fucking redneck, get out of here. Ain't nobody got time for your lasso. Yeah, I hate Jared Allen too. Thanks for bringing that up, Nick. I appreciate that. You got anybody else in football, Corey?
You know what? I don't hate him, but I hated him when he was on the Vikings because, again, it's another situation where Detroit could have drafted this guy, and he came back and haunted us. Randy Moss. It was just – I loved Randy Moss, but I hated Randy Moss because Randy Moss tortured Detroit anytime that damn ugly-ass purple, jersey would come to Detroit. Oh, my God. Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
I would have loved him here.
Joey, anybody that you hate that you would not want to see?
Tom Brady. I just hate him. I never want to see him. I challenge him to actually put on a Lions jersey.
That would be great.
I really don't. I feel like when you go after the Packers are the main ones because that's the team that I hate the most.
Right.
So just seeing that picture, it's so salty. I just don't like it.
I would say I could stomach the Aaron Rodgers one. It would have been the Brett Favre one that would have been like the one that would probably made me throw up. If I would have seen Brett Favre in the Lions.
Well, could you imagine being a Packers fan and then when he went to Minnesota, like how? I mean, that's still to this day when you see videos of him playing, it does not look right.
Yeah, and then he went to the Jets and it still didn't look right. Like. It was like when Joe Montana left the 49ers to go play for the Kansas City Chiefs. You just like Joe Montana's a Niner. That's what he is. It'd be like if Drew Brees went somewhere else right now too.
Well, I mean, we better prepare for it because Matthew Stafford's going to be lacing up in a Rams uniform. And that's not going to look right to us.
Yeah, I think we're all prepared for that though. I mean, at least I am.
I'm ready for it.
I think it was time for both sides to move on. Like to me, this was like the cleanest divorce in NFL history. It was like, listen. We didn't get it done for you. You didn't get it done for us. Let's give each other at least a good opportunity to try something in the future. So I thought that was very nice of Stafford and the Lions to at least handle this as professionals. Baseball. Anybody have any baseball players that you hated but you would love to see in a Tigers uniform?
I don't really hate him, but Derek Jeter would be a crazy one to see in the uniform.
Yeah. I love Jeets.
I mean, that would have been a cool story. Come back to Michigan and play for the Tigers. That would have been awesome. But I think if you're a diehard Tigers fan, you're going to look to somebody like A.J. Przinsky, who...
You stole mine, you son of a bitch.
I mean, that's just a guy that tormented, and he probably talked the most shit out of anybody that played Major League Baseball. I mean...
Yeah, and he got punched in the mouth more than anybody who played in Major League Baseball. And that's what happens when you talk shit. You get punched in the mouth. But the picture you chose was who?
Alex Rodriguez. I mean, probably one of the most controversial players in MLB history. I mean, outside. I mean, I went to both ALCS games when the Tigers swept the Yankees, and listening to the Tigers fan just yell his name, like, because I think he went like 0 for like 18 or something, or I don't even know if he had a hit throughout that entire series, but the fans were on his ass the entire game, and it was. I would never want to see A-Rod here in Detroit.
I got to admit, A-Rod looks damn good in a Tigers uniform, though. Could you imagine him at short and Miggy at third? Like that left side of the infield. Granted, a lot of ground balls would get through, but the amount of runs that those two would be putting up, it would be amazing.
I mean, we had Prince Fielder. They had put up a lot of runs. You had J.D. Martinez, Victor Martinez, and...
Oh, God, those three in the lineup was so good when they were banging and, like, just all operating at a high level. And then Prince Fielder got lazy as hell, started flopping when he was trying to slide, started trashing the city, and then we traded him for Ian Kinsler. Not a big Prince Fielder fan after the shit he pulled here.
See, I loved Ian Kinsler growing up, so for me, that that, especially what happened to Fielder after the fact, like
Right.
that could go down as one of the best trades that Detroit ever made. Granted, Tigers never won anything out of it, but when you get a guy, I assume a future Hall of Famer and Ian Kinsler, I mean that's got to be up there.
Kinsler's another guy that just looked like a Tiger.
Yeah.
Like when he put on the Old English D, it's like, man, that's a Tiger right there. So I was happy when we got Kinsler. But like I said, for baseball, the guy that I grew up like hating but would have loved, because we've always, aside from Pudge, we've always had issues at catcher here for the Tigers. AJ Pierzynski. I know you brought him up, but dude, this guy played baseball the way I played baseball, and I was a catcher, and like I talked a ton of shit while I was behind the plate, and I just love that grittiness out of that position.
Yeah, I mean, love it.
Man, for me, it was like two people. I hated Frank Thomas. God, I hated Frank Thomas and David Ortiz. Those two, couldn't stand them, but we loved them here.
Yeah. No, Frank Thomas, he was like my idol growing up. I loved Frank Thomas. I always tried to be number 35 in baseball, but always deferred to 99.
That's all you could get.
That's all I could get.
It's funny that Corey kind of brought that up, because what I almost did is I almost took that picture of when Ortiz hit that home run on Joaquin Benoit and the Grand Slam that ultimately changed that series.
In that Little League field that they call Fenway.
Yeah. Yep. I almost put Poppy in a Tigers uniform, but I'm still hurt from that. So I haven't gotten over it just yet.
Yeah, people are saying Big Poppy. People are also saying Nelson Cruz.
I mean, Tiger Killer.
He crushed us.
I mean, when he was on Texas, he single-handedly outed us in what was that, 2011?
Yeah, that was... Oh, man, the Tigers had so many good teams to make it to the World Series. They did twice, obviously, and they only won one game in those two World Series. That hurts still to this day. But I will say this. I have gotten to go to a World Series game in Comerica Park, which was one of the coolest experiences of my life.
So I've been to Red Wings playoff games. Obviously, I haven't had the opportunity to go to a Lions game, but I've been to Red Wings and Tigers. And there's an atmosphere about October baseball, especially I remember my first time walking into Comerica Park, and it's just there's this atmosphere that just kind of takes over you, and like you can feel no pain no matter what. It's just, if you've never experienced, you have to do it. Hopefully, when the Tigers are winning here in a couple of years.
Yeah, and the thing about baseball is a lot of people don't like regular season baseball. It's like, oh, these games are long, but then you get into playoff baseball where every pitch could change a whole series, and it just becomes the most intense sport because it is kind of slow and drawn out. So the tension builds between every pitch, and if a runner gets on base, it's like, oh my God, they got somebody on base. The regular season is like, oh, there's a guy on first. Okay, nobody gives a shit. But in the playoffs, every move becomes just overwhelmingly huge, and that's what I love about baseball. Hockey to me is similar because hockey's probably fourth on my list of top 4 sports. And regular season hockey, it's fun to watch, but playoff hockey is just a different animal.
See, but it's different when you compare the two sports because NHL, especially with the Red Wings, those games are freaking packed.
Yeah.
So it's like the energy in that arena is just so much better. I mean, baseball is great, but it just drags on so long. That's the only issue I got.
Yeah, not in the playoffs, man.
Yeah,
Every pitch means something. And to your point, Nick, like how electric it is in Comerica Park, you wonder if that's because it's our really only outdoor facility too. Like that's such a different feeling on a nice night. You're in your short sleeves, you got your cold beer, you're watching a playoff baseball game. There's 40,000 fans in the stands, all going, buzzing, rooting. Like, oh God, I can't wait for the world to open again.
Yeah. I kind of brought that up. Like, what would you guys? Do you like Ford Field as a dome, or do you think it would be a much better experience as an outdoor stadium?
I'm a fan of outdoor stadiums.
Yep.
I think Ford Field should be retractable for anything.
Yes.
It definitely should, because I think that would just change the dynamic of having those Sunday night games with a retractable field and being able to see the whole sky and all that.
You know, one of my favorite things, and I can't believe I'm saying anything that I like about the Packers, but I love seeing Lambeau Field, and you see these fans out there, just diehard fans sitting in the snow, freezing their ass off, and it's like, it just seems like such a cool environment, and I've never really been able to do that. Like, I've never gone to, like, the big house to a game where it was snowing. Like, that'd be such a cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, it's such a football thing, really.
It is.
And I hate that we're in the Midwest and we don't have that outdoor stadium. I mean, if Buffalo can do it, if Cleveland can do it, if Green Bay can do it, if Chicago can do it, we should have been able to do it.
I've been to I've shot the big house at night, and last year, I can't remember what game it was, but it was the conditions were so ugly out there. Like, every cameraman had their rain jacket on. I was the only idiot one who didn't bring his out there and got my shit wet. But nonetheless, even in that night game, over 100,000 fans, it's nothing beats that.
Well, that was the Notre Dame game because I was actually there too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter what you wore that night because you were getting wet. But I mean, once you were there, once you're in the elements, it didn't matter. I mean, you were fired up to watch football, and the rain's a second nature at that point, especially when it's coming down that hard.
I mean, we need something to make us tough. You know, you look at our team colors. You look at us playing inside of a beautiful, warm indoor field. Like, we need something that's just like that Detroit out of us.
Yeah, we need like broken 40s on the 50-yard line and like, you know, chain link fence. Like, we need to make this look tough when people come to play here.
Well, I think that roof is kind of the worst part about it. I think Ford Field's gorgeous on the inside.
It's
the brick on the
gorgeous.
outside, but the white kind of roofing kind of makes it look not good at all. I mean, if that was outdoors, you'd kind of get rid of the fair weather fans that kind of come to hang out. I mean, call a spade, but you'd have way more diehards at that stadium, and I think it would actually be louder outdoors than it is indoors.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know because they spent $500 million on a stadium and didn't include a retractable roof. And you wonder how much more that would have been just to throw that in because they had to have at least talked about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the Fords. Even no matter how much it costs, they could have spent that little bit of change and got it right back.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to my man Sean Dondada. He said we look soft playing indoors. And I agree with that. I mean, and I also think it does make the team soft, and it doesn't give you that home field advantage. Like, you think Green Bay's coming to Detroit, like, oh, shit, man, we got to go play in Detroit. Like, we don't know what the weather's going to. It's like, oh, no. We get to go chill in a country club, nice little locker room, stroll out. It'll be 72 degrees and perfect.
Well, I mean, wasn't that a knock on Stafford? Was he didn't know how to handle those cold weather games in December when you had to go to Lambeau or Soldier Field?
Yeah, yeah.
So I searched it, guys. Retractable roof cost $800 to $4,000.
$800.
That's a retractable awning.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're looking up the awnings right now.
Like, wait, what? No, but about $100 to $150 million.
How ghetto would it be if we just put a retractable awning on Ford Field? Like,
you just see people pulling it off.
Right. So I guess we'll never know. I do love that Comerica Park is outdoor because they could have put Comerica Park indoor too. You know, we've seen indoor baseball stadiums, which once again it loses its like feel of baseball to me. Like if you go Tampa Bay's indoor with Tropicana, and it's just a weird vibe. Like sometimes fly balls hit the ceiling and bounce down. Like you just don't want any of those unnatural things interfering with a game.
Well, and the lighting too. I mean, part of it, like if you're watching on TV, you want something that looks good, right? I mean, if you watch a Tampa Bay game, it looks gloomy inside. It's not something that's very appealing to the eyes. So, and if you talk a lot of people that are outside Detroit, Comerica Park ranks up there as one of their favorite ballparks.
Yeah, I guess I still have my love for Tiger Stadium, and when I talk about a ghetto ass stadium, like Tiger Stadium was a ghetto ass stadium, and I loved every minute of it, from the bleacher creatures to walking up to the game and getting harassed by people trying to sell you bootleg stuff, like the smell of the hot dogs on Michigan and Trumbull. Those are such great times. I'm so glad I got to experience those before they tore it down in 1999. It was big moments in my life happened at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, you're not getting that out of the Detroit Pal Stadium. That stadium is so clean.
It is beautiful.
I love it there.
Yeah, what Pal has done with that corner is amazing. If I ever get booted out of my house, so that is probably the first place I'm going to go try to live.
You love those condos that overlook the field so much.
Oh, my God, it's amazing. Like we talked about it. There's one over here in Royal Oak, too, and it's overseeing like a Little League field, and it's just like a busted ass diamond. But I'd be like, how cool would that be? Second balcony to come out Saturday mornings. You get to watch Little League baseball. It'd be great.
But you know what's crazy? Some of the people that are living over there, they've been complaining about the noise. And I'm like, who the hell moves downtown in that area and then decides to complain about noise coming from a baseball field?
Idiots.
I expected it to be really quiet at this baseball field.
Right. Hey, there's kids playing ball. Keep them quiet.
Well, it's probably the drummer kids outside, right, that are, just going ham on the little cans.
Oh, we got the Astros out there? What's going on? They're banging on trash cans?
I mean, that's probably where the Astros got the idea from, right?
The Houston Astros are out there banging on trash cans.
I mean, we got the coach now.
Well, Nick Leach, just wanted to bring you on stage, introduce you to everybody. This is the Morning Woodward Show. Everybody that comments and is in the chat, they call themselves Woodies, so you'll get a lot of support from them.
Love it.
If you see any cool graphics coming out, most likely they're coming from Nick. Show him some love. Get at him. What's your social media handles?
At Nick Leach. So it's Nick_Leach_. So you follow me there. I'll do a lot more posting of that stuff on my personal page.
Awesome. So Nick Leach, welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you for providing us with those great graphics. I think it led to a great conversation. It made me think about AJ Przynski in a Tigers uniform, which was very hard for me to do. But
you know what I love about this though is the backstory. And correct me if I'm wrong, Stick. We posted these mocks that he edited with these jerseys and swapped all of our Detroit team jerseys, and we didn't even know who the photo was, right? That did the artwork. So then people started tagging Nick, and that's kind of how we first saw him. And then we saw his talent. And we were like, dude, we got to get this kid on the team.
Yep. Yeah, he's been busting his ass ever since.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, Stick, you and I have had a conversation. I kind of started a sports blog with my friends and a podcast, and you guys started doing the same thing, and the world's kind of just collided, and I'm pumped. I couldn't be more excited to be here.
Yeah, and that's what Woodward Sports is all about, man. Just taking everybody that's in Detroit and all the people that are busting their ass and trying to make it work. We're going to put it all under one umbrella, and nobody's going to be able to touch us, man. So
absolutely.
Big adding you to the team. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. We got some other things to discuss, like is Jerami Grant going to be an all-star? We'll find out tonight, but we'll have that discussion on why he should be next on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fayette at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. We got Corey, we got Joey, Adham, Art, and Fish helping us out this morning, and Nick Leach, who just stepped off the stage. We'll be hearing a lot more from Nick Leach. He's also going to write articles and do his own thing here, so very excited to keep adding to the team. We'll have to bring Speakeasy on soon, even though he's already been on a couple other shows.
Yeah.
I love Speakeasy, too.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's a funny kid. So thank you guys for tuning in this morning, especially if you got our app. We appreciate you for downloading it. It is available on Apple stores, soon to be Android. All you got to do is search Woodward Sports Network, and there it is. It's right up there. You download it. It's absolutely free. Hit us with that 5-star review, please. And we appreciate you for listening. And everybody on social media, you already know we love you, and we read every comment, and we thank you for participating every morning on the Morning Woodward Show. Pretty soon we're going to have phone lines too, so you guys can start calling in and chatting with us, which is awesome.
Oh, that's going to be pretty. That's going to be really good, interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I wonder who's going to be the craziest Woody.
That's the cool thing. Once we get standard people calling up, we can make little nicknames for them, and we could just build a whole crew here of great input. And when I'm being stupid, you can call up and tell me I'm being stupid.
It's going to be great. I mean, we're going to be able to talk to all of you every single day like we do, outside of just YouTube comments and Facebook comments and Twitter and all those comments.
Yeah. So, our boy, Jerami Grant, who probably, I don't want to say he's the biggest shock of the year, but it's probably the biggest shock of the year, because when we reached out to Jerami Grant and offered him about $20 million a year, everyone's like, this is the dumbest move the Pistons have ever made. Jerami Grant is a sixth man. He'll never be able to lead a team. He's not good enough. And everybody just bashed this move. Now we're finding out maybe Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey know what the hell they're doing.
Okay, look, let's just look at this. The Denver Nuggets were going to pay Jerami Grant the same exact contract that the Pistons gave him, but that was to be a 6th, 7th, possibly 8th option. The fact that he took that same deal to come to Detroit and be a starter, that right there showed me that he knew that his game has yet to scratch the surface. And the fact that their Nuggets were going to pay him that much to be that type of option, just a guy who's barely going to get the ball, that also shows me that they knew his worth as well. Now everybody's starting to look at the Pistons like maybe they were the smartest guys in the room, and now you're seeing all of these trade rumors and stuff coming about him. Jerami Grant is definitely an all-star. His numbers prove it. He's 23.5 points per game.
Yep.
5.1 rebounds, and he's just been on a tear. He had the most points for any Pistons starter in their debut. Like I think the first 12 games.
Yeah, and then he had like 10 games in a row scoring 30 points.
I mean, only reason that he should not be an all-star is if you're holding the Pistons record against him. That's it. Outside of that, he's proven that he belongs to be in the game.
Yeah, and not only the number stats that he's putting up, he's also, I believe, in the top 5 in minutes played right now. So we're leaning on him a lot, and obviously we don't have a winning record, so that's going to knock against him. But he's the man on the team right now, and he's carrying the load of all these young guys that are trying to learn the NBA.
And this is one that I'm going to openly admit that I got this one so wrong because I looked at, $20 million, like really? And then you look at, I mean, he was getting 12, 13, 14 at the highest points per game in the previous seasons. But then you look at this season and to what Corey said, 23.5 points per game. This guy is just proven how talented he really is. And honestly, like, I don't think all-stars really mean much because, like, especially in this situation, it's like they screw a lot of players that are on the reserve border.
Right.
But this one, I think he has definitely earned it, especially what we've seen.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like to like a LeBron James, to established players in the league, all-star appearances at this point are just like secondhand. It's like, all right, I'm an all-star. I get it. But to Jerami Grant, like this would be his first all-star nod. He was a second-round pick. That's the thing that I also love about Jerami Grant. What number pick was he overall? Was he like 49? I want to say. Something like that, but he was a second round
39 pick, second round 39th pick,
39th overall pick. And to be a second round pick and turn into an all-star doesn't happen very often. And this guy has blossomed this year under being the man. He took the risk on himself. So I don't see any reason any coach in the NBA could look at Jerami Grant and say he's not an all-star.
Again, it's the only reason they could do that is just looking at the Pistons record and just faulting him for being a top performer on a bad team. That's outside of that. Look at his game. Just don't even look at his stats. Just look at his game. Look at his impact on the floor and how he's able to get other guys into the. Even though he's not really leading the team in assists or anything like that, he allows guys to get into their positions to play their best basketball. And I don't know. First off, congratulations again to Troy Weaver for stealing that. That guy. I mean, we definitely underpaid for what he's given the Pistons right now.
Yeah, especially since now he's the talk of trade rumors and everybody wants – I mean, they want us to create value for him already because of how far he's shot up value-wise. People are like, oh, $20 million, that's a reasonable contract to have a great player. Now he's a very valuable asset to the Pistons. I think he's more valuable on the team than off the team, but he's an asset.
He's definitely a valuable asset because that $20 million a year for his production, that is nothing.
Right.
That is like nothing. So I just pray they don't deal him. But if they were, it better be a pretty damn good trade or something where you would be fired if you didn't make that trade.
It's crazy because you look at the players that we have right now, and it's like there actually is some good draft capital out of our players. But then you look and it's an 8-22 team. So like you compare both of them, and it's like it doesn't add up. But it just shows that Coach Casey is doing an amazing job. Troy Weaver is doing an amazing job because, yeah, we're not winning, and that's going to definitely be a piece that with time we're going to get better once the chemistry gets better amongst each other. But the players that we've developed, I mean, you see Jerami Grant pretty much doubling every single stat from his last season.
Yeah, and yet another reason why Casey shouldn't be fired. I mean, we talked about that earlier, how Vegas has Casey being the #1 coach to be fired in the NBA. But then we just listed all the reasons why he shouldn't be, from Sadiq Bey to Isaiah Stewart to turning Jerami Grant into an all-star. And obviously Grant had skills before he came here, but Casey is putting him in a position to be the man, and he's performing.
When I'm watching Casey coach the Pistons, I don't see like, oh my God, this guy is doing such a horrible coaching job. I'm seeing from Casey like, okay, he's trying to teach these guys the game, and they're weathering the storm, and they're going through their bumps, and they're banging their head and getting the hiccups. That's all it is. As far as X's and O's, they are not going to find a better coach than Casey, to me, in the next maybe couple of years, where you may be able to invite somebody, like we said earlier, Chauncey Billups, back after he has gotten a couple of years of being an assistant under his belt. But by then, I'm also expecting Casey to already have the Pistons as I'm not going to go too crazy, 5th seed at highest. They should be at least a fifth, sixth seed in the next couple of years. I don't think that's asking much. If they're still, trying to get into the playoffs and barely make it in as an 8th seed, then hey, maybe it's time to get a new voice.
Yeah, I don't like playing that game. I mean, you never win. You're never going to get out of that. That's kind of like purgatory. You're just never going to get out of that. Oh, we're in the playoffs, but we're almost out of the playoffs. We're going to get swept in the first round, but we made the playoffs. I love making the playoffs with a young team that can get the experience and grow from it. But the way the Pistons were with older guys getting swept out of the first round, you're really not getting that growth that you want to see, because I always go back to what the 2004 Pistons did. And like that team really started in like 2001, and they had to learn. They lost in the first round. Then they learned to win the first round. They lost in the second round. And they slowly put it all together to where they went to 6 Eastern Conference championships in a row.
Yes, I just hope they just give Casey his time to build this team, because you keep switching, coaches, and you're not giving anybody time to establish a culture. It's just consistent rebuild after rebuild without any type of committing to a plan. Right now, they've blown the whole roster up, and they've gotten in a lot of guys where they're going to be formidable players moving forward, and we got some contracts that they can move to acquire maybe some better free agents, better players, or free up some money in free agency. But right now, just stay the course and let Casey build this thing out. I'm liking where they're going. But to the point about Jerami Grant, I'm liking what he's done with Jerami Grant and letting him take that extra step in his game, man.
Yep. Well, we'll find out tonight.
And I love how you mentioned, I see us being like a 5th seed or something like that. You look at the Eastern Conference compared to the Western Conference, our number 1 team would be probably a 5th or 6th seed in the West. It's just crazy because, all you really got to be in the East is just about a 600 team, and you're one of the best in the entire conference.
Yeah, the East is struggling right now, but we'll make it. We'll make it. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we found out something about intern Fish yesterday, and it could be the greatest thing that we've ever found out. We'll talk about that next on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Back to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. As you know, we have come to love intern Fish and all he does around this building. And we've always joked about creating him a Tinder. We've joked about creating him just some profile on social media. He has a Facebook, but he doesn't use it. It doesn't really have a picture. He made it because his school made him make it. And yesterday, we're on Instagram, and all of a sudden, we find out that Fish has an Instagram. Not only does he have an Instagram, he's got a couple hundred followers, Corey.
What?
Yes.
Fish, you sly dog, you.
So if you want to slide into Fish's DMs, Joey, are you looking for the Instagram right now?
Yes, so I got it. So it was crazy because we're just all hanging out in the office yesterday, and Fish all of a sudden wants to show me something. And I look, and I'm like, wait, hold up. This is on Instagram. So I'm scrolling. I'm like, Fish, you got an Instagram? Because we've been asking him for so long, make a Fish Woodward Sports Instagram. The people want to see you.
Right.
So then I click on the page, and I'm like, this is freaking Fish's Instagram. And the best part is, you want to say what the username is?
Samuel Fisher, New Zealand. I love it. I love it. And if you don't know about Fish, he keeps a watch on New Zealand time at all times. He doesn't care what it is here on the East Coast or Eastern Standard Time Zone in America. He cares about New Zealand, and he loves the All Blacks. And we saw that on his Instagram, and it's amazing that Fish has an Instagram. So we want everybody to go give Fish a follow.
Yes.
If you can. Get this guy's numbers up. But we also want to just talk about fish having an Instagram. Like, it blew all of our minds.
So I now know New Zealand time because it's 6 hours behind, all thanks to Fish. Because he looks at his watch yesterday, and it was like 1 o'clock. He's like, yep, it's 7 o'clock. And I'm like, man, this guy just knows it like that. But the best part about this, and if you're trying to find him, it's Samuel Fisher, New Zealand.
Uh-oh. He's over there. He doesn't. You don't like this, do you, Fish? Yeah, he's throwing up his hands.
The best part is we should get up the other mic so Fish could come up here and talk about this with us, because the best part is his bio, and I want to read this. Did you throw it up there?
Yeah, it
says sports fan, Fish at Woodward Sports. So he did add.
Hey, good job, Fishy.
He did add that, and then he says TV 10, kind of. Lives in America, not New Zealand, but love the country. Why, I don't know. Stay safe.
Fish is like the most interesting man in the world. Like,
Damn, you stole my line.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Corey. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Stay.
So yeah, let's Fish, come up on stage real quick. You could talk into Corey's mic.
I think it's almost time for Fish's facts anyway.
Okay, so why don't you just slide off and we'll get into Fish's facts.
But like, you look at this account, and I just want to know why the heck Fish would not tell us about this. And then I look and I see this and I click, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh shoot. Like, he had that face like, oh shoot. They now know I have an Instagram. So what was it, Fish? Why were you hiding this Instagram
Why were you
page?
hiding from us, Fish?
I don't know. I mean, there's no explanation.
No explanation?
Nope.
So what do you post about a lot on your Instagram?
Sports.
What kind of sports?
I mean, all of them.
Okay.
Whatever's happening.
Okay. So how long have you had your Instagram? Because we've asked you about this for months, buddy.
Yes, you have.
And why did you keep it hidden from us?
Just felt like it.
Just felt like it?
Yep.
Okay. When did you start your Instagram?
March 6th of last year.
Okay, so before you started working here, you had this.
Yes.
And why did you start your Instagram?
I don't know. I just felt like, let's post some sports.
Let's post some sports.
And that's about it.
But he's like breaking content. Like, I'm looking through some posts, and he talks about how Diego Maradona died. He posts that. He says he died of a heart attack at age 60. So it's like he is a legit source. Like Fox Sports New Zealand.
Source that we post other sources.
That's what 99% of reporters do today.
Yes.
Like, there's very little original content. It's all, according to somebody else, this is happening. You even see that, like, besides like an Adam Schefter, everybody else is hopping on, according to Adam Schefter, this.
Yeah.
So that's you, Fish. You could be our Adam Schefter.
It's like via Wojo. No, via Samuel Fisher, New Zealand.
And you don't know why you love New Zealand so much.
No, it started in 2015.
And what started it? What sparked it? Just the All Blacks?
No, nothing related to them. I have no clue.
You have no clue.
I just know that I just fell in love with New Zealand.
Is it your mom, your dad? Is there any history to that country?
No relation to. Nope.
All right.
Just love the country, and I fell in love with it. 2016 was when I really fell in love with the country. I have an app, or a sports app, that has every single game. So I make a TV guide for a fake New Zealand company.
What? You made a TV guide for a fake New Zealand company?
Yeah. I used to have calendar things where I flip the dates. Every week I'd write different games in, and now I just use my phone.
That's awesome,
This guy's a web developer, too.
Will you
New
do
Zealand web developer.
Will you do that for us, Fish? Will you create a calendar for us?
Sure.
All right.
I mean, I don't know how good it would be.
It doesn't matter. Anything you've done around here has turned into gold, so you know that, right?
I do not.
Okay, well, that's true. So let's do this, Fish. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to do Fish's facts like we normally do, okay? We'll stop talking about your Instagram.
It's Fish.
It's Fish, and we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, Fish is up next with his facts. I mean, we're inside Grow Green right now, and they have everything. I'm talking, you got your active air fans, you got your big lights over there, big pots, little pots, and Joey, what are you doing right now?
Get some sun.
That's not what those lights are for.
Feels nice.
Go to Grow Green MI today to get all your growing needs and a tan.
Is it time?
Yeah, it is. Fish!
It's fish. All right, Fishy, you ready for your facts, buddy?
Sure, yes.
All right, what you got for us today?
So Djokovic recently won on Sunday. He has been 309 weeks at world number 1. Federer was 310 weeks at number 1. So in 2 weeks, Djokovic will pass Roger Federer as the most weeks at number 1 in tennis history.
I'm doing the math. That's like almost 6 years at number 1.
Yeah, it's a lot of years.
That is a lot of years at number 1.
No one's really been able to pass any of them, so we'll see if Djokovic can pass in 2 weeks. I'm assuming he's going to because there's no major tournament in the next 2 weeks. And Federer had an injury, so he was out of Australia. So we will he'll pass him.
All right.
So, all right, we have soccer today. I'll sing the song in moments.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Bayern Munich and Lazio playing today.
Okay.
And good news for any of you that like goals. Why not? It's expected a lot of goals are going to be scored today. Well, a lot meaning 1 to 2. But
a lot of goals in soccer.
That is a lot of goals. So they have Lazio have known to have been conceding goals. They have conceded 1 goal in the last 17 games. At least 1 goal conceded in the last 17 games.
That's a lot.
So, yeah, it's a lot of goals conceded. And last 27 Champions League matches, Bayern Munich has scored at least 1 goal.
Okay.
Last time it was 0-0 was 2019, February of 2019.
So you're
Was
right.
the
That
last
is a
time they got
recipe for a
0-0.
lot of goals being scored.
Yes.
Okay.
So one team's used to conceding, the other team's used to scoring. So it should be a good game if any of you would like to watch. We'll get to that in the bets.
All right.
In moments. Bayern Munich have had an impressive run against Italy teams. So the stadium they play in, Stadio Olimpico, actually hosts 2 teams, Rome and Lazio, who are both in Italy. How about that? What if that happened? What if we had 2 Detroit teams that play in the same stadium?
Oh, that'd be great.
You would like that?
I would love that. The more Detroit teams we can get, the better. I'm all for it.
Okay, I feel
What
like
do you mean 2 Detroit teams that play in the same stadium?
Yeah, so in Italy they have 2 teams that play in the same stadium.
The Red Wings and the Pistons.
Oh, but he's talking same sport.
Oh, same sport.
Well, same sport, but rivals basically.
Yeah.
Oh.
It'd be
hate
like
each other.
it'd be like the Cubs and the White Sox
Yeah.
playing in
Playing,
Comiskey.
there we go, playing at the same stadium.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Or Lakers Clippers are a great example.
I mean,
too.
the Jets and the Giants do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happens here in America.
Yeah, so the stadium has produced 13 goals, including a 7-1 game in Rome in 2014 of October.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your facts. Let's get into Fish's bets.
One more fact.
Okay.
On the stadium history, Joe Louis. He retained his heavyweight boxing title in 1938.
Nice. Joe Louis had a mean right hand.
Nathan Mann knocked him out in the 3rd round.
Yep. And if you don't know, the fist in downtown Detroit is Joe Louis's fist.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they talked about Joe Louis on the Baligian Bell yesterday.
Yes, they did. The arena, not the man.
Yes, the arena. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some bets today. The champions. Do, 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 do.
Yes, sir.
So the other game is Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. Both are from 3 o'clock. Chelsea is plus 158. Atletico Madrid is plus 194, and the draw is 192 plus. All of them are on the plus.
All right.
And then the Bayern Munich Lazio game I talked about. Bayern Munich should win. They're the champions. They won it last year. It is plus 311. Lazio is plus 311. So
I'm taking that upset, Fish.
So if you're liking to bet on soccer, Fish, those are your bets?
Sure. We'll go Red Wings and Red Wings and Pistons are pretty easy. I'm going Pistons and Red Wings for both.
Oh,
So-
straight up? Or
Yeah.
okay.
I'll go straight up. Yeah.
You're not
It's-
taking the points?
What about State?
It's plus 140 for the Pistons and plus 140 for the Red Wings. So same thing for both.
Awesome. Well, those are Fish's.
State,
oh, we
State's
got
a
more.
little different.
I love it.
I don't know if I'm going to State. I don't really trust them.
Yeah.
I should, but I don't really trust them.
Well, thank you, Fish, for your facts and your bets of the day. You always come and you bring the heat. I appreciate you.
I try.
Everybody, this is Intern Fish. If you're new to the show, Intern Fish has been here for a while, and he's finding his way on the microphone. Like, how confident you've become has been great. Like, you even tell me to shut up now, and I love it.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Tell him, Fish. Tell him, Fish.
Happens sometimes.
It does happen sometimes. So thank you, Fish. We got to give a shout out to Levels Provisionary Center. It's opening in Ferndale, 9 Mile and Hilton, and this dispensary is going to be unlike any other one you've ever been into, mostly because the product is always going to be fire. Like, you're not going to get there, pay $80 for something that you take home, and you're like, why did I just pay $80 for this? Like, you're going to get the product that you desire and the product that you deserve at Levels. They're opening in, I believe, around Easter time is what we were told yesterday. So we're going to be talking about them a lot. Make sure you get familiar with them. In the meantime, go to the other dispensaries, try them out, because then once you try Levels, you're never going to want to go anywhere else. And you can follow them right now at Enjoy Levels on Instagram. Joey, it is now time for the dumbass of the day. Who do you got?
It is, and this dumbass, I got to award it to referees yet again, which is crazy because I feel like there's been a lot of refereeing mess-ups lately. And this one is just, it pisses me off because this is like so obvious. Sometimes there's things that refs could miss off, like the actual ball, like someone in the background of the game, whatever. But this is the ref missing the most blatantly obvious travel call I've ever seen from Donovan Mitchell, and you see it on this play.
I wish we had Donovan Mitchell on our team.
Like, I do too, but how do you miss that call? How? Like, this play did not obviously have a big play in the game because the Jazz did win 132-110 against the Hornets. So that one play did not affect anything. But that is the most obvious travel I've ever seen in basketball.
I mean, not the most obvious. NBA has been crazy. Like, there's been ones with LeBron taking literally 5 steps across half court. But, yeah, you see it with James Harden moving his pivot foot, moving behind the three-point line. And, dude, you don't even get away with that in Rec League in Ferndale.
No.
But you get away with it in the NBA.
Dude, Rec League doesn't even let you do the Euro step, and I get pissed because that's my move.
Yeah. Joey loves the Euro step.
I do.
Mostly because you look like Manu Ginobili.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Matching bald spot. I shaved this bald spot in there just so I could look like him.
Well, thank you guys for waking up with the Morning Woodward Show this morning. Thank you for everybody who downloaded the app. It's live now on the Apple Store. It's coming on Android, I believe, next week. Don't hold me to that, but that is our plan right now. And all you got to do is search Woodward Sports Network, and you can download the app for absolutely free. Thank you to everybody who was watching on Facebook and commenting this morning, YouTube and commenting this morning, retweeting on Twitter, and of course on IG and everywhere else. Make sure you follow us on Twitch, our TikTok. We do some funny videos every single day if you're looking for a laugh. So just follow us everywhere at Woodward Sports. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys for helping us, and we're ready to do this. Have a great Tuesday. Baligian and Bell is up next at 11 a.m. right here on the Woodward Sports Network.